What's going on, guys? Justin here with possibly it's not one of my most unusual videos I'm going to be doing. And basically, I'm in a self-quarantine and also self-isolation, so I might as well, go ahead and show you guys a tool cart review after almost half a year, and also a review of the cart itself. We are reviewing my 5-drawer service cart in green. Just really how awesome this color actually pops. It's a U.S. General. It's from Harbor Freight. These things were running for about $223 or $189 if you use the coupon. And this thing lives up to its name. Really lives up to its reviews. Most of the reviews for this card I've seen are 5. They're all extraordinary. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, when you first take this card out of the box, you are required to assemble it, and the assembly took me about 30 minutes to 45, maybe 45 to an hour, because I was actually working on this solo. The biggest thing that was actually a bigger pain to finish this card off is basically putting this big monstrosity box up on top. What I actually did was I actually laid down the frame, took this whole part. Now there are videos of the assembly where they actually remove the drawers to make it much more lighter, so they could just put it down into where the brackets are, or where the tabs are, and go from there. To me, I just laid it down and just put it on. Now, the good thing about these U.S. General models is they give you a huge wide array of customization of how you can make your car, and to make your cart really make it stand out, make it all you. For example, I got a parts tray, tool tray right here with the screwdriver holders. Of course, I do have the spare bolt, but that's going to come later on. I also got this glove holder or tissue holder, magnetic part tray holder. Now this is a little side compartment right here. Side tray is for your aerosols, cleaners, stuff like that. Lubricants like WD-40, PB Blaster. Of course, I got Flex Seal, Menglers, and Koenig for now. And I also got one more, I think a few more that I haven't gotten yet, is the spray can holder, which also functions as a beer can holder, a drink holder. And of course the power strip, which only comes in 3 colors for now, which is the red, the black, and the blue. And also, can't forget about the foldable side tray. Really sturdy. Now compare this to a Blue Point, which runs for about $830. So basically, I save about $600. Now, also, of course, these are my attachments on here. We got my Braun light, bright LED. We also have the magnetic parts tray holder, which I actually have 2, the 4 and the 6. Of course, let's open this up, and unfortunately, it's a good thing I have not. It said you get 4 keys in this. You get 4 keys, and you can put it on different key rings that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and get one out. There are little ball bearings in there that move with the key, and also I added on the corner protectors which are $20 per 4 set. And of course, he has spent $40 to get basically the 8 altogether, which is kind of weird because for Snap-on you basically get all 8, and that just does not make any sense. Then again, it is what it is. There's a nice sturdy handle right here. Just lift it up, and here it is. Now, the one thing I actually did was I added these 3 magnetic strips for extra stuff, extra tools, like Sawzall blades, these impact drivers, nut drivers, of course these flex-headed ratchets, which I actually got 2 Carlisles and a Pittsburgh Pro. These 2 actually came from Napa Auto Parts. This is just from Harbor Freight. And most of all this stuff right here came from Harbor Freight, unless if it's specified. We got a jigsaw blade right here. It's a wood clean. Also got a tamper screw driver, which I always have up here. Got these 2 picks that will not fit down these holes, but I'm going to discuss those later on. Also got 2 reciprocating saw blades. Also got another wood blade. Impact drivers. It's a file. And of course I got this spare 9/32 Craftsman socket. And also this a wood with nails reciprocating saw blade for demo. I basically use this for cutting up firewood and stuff. Let's go down to the sockets. Now everything you see here is my setup. Got 1/4 inch over here. Got my hex sockets, Torx sockets. These are just basically, they call it Starbits. I'm going to call these Torx anyway. Got my universal joints over here. 3/8 drive metric, SAE, 1/2 inch SAE, also metric. Also got my impact sockets right here. And of course I do have these two ones right here. These are just fill these up. This is a 1/16 impact, so I ain't gonna worry about that. I also got my spark plug and oil filter sockets as well. And for these Pittsburgh sockets, like if I get a 1/4 inch with both SAE and metric, the shallow sockets, I get this really nice actually green socket wrench, which actually does match up the color. Now I'm not too big on matching colors, but to be honest, this actually does look very nice to have. You got 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. And basically, of course, I got the colored ones right here, which goes from 10 to 19 because there was a chrome set that was there that only has 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It skipped 18, 19, I think also 21, 22. And basically, from what I understand, is those are usually basically your most commonly used sockets for nuts and bolts. And of course I had to get the colored ones, which includes 18, which is a full set. Oh yeah, the one thing I don't like about this handle is that these caps like come off. So basically the only thing you could do for these is get some glue and just hit it in, because I actually did the same for this with the Flex Seal, and it still holds up real well. You may notice I'm actually missing 15 for the 1/4 inch because this is not usually frequently most used one out of here. Missing a 1/8, both shallow and deep. Also the 5/32 for deep. You can go all the way up here. Missing the 5/8 for both shallow and deep. Again, those are mostly not commonly used. Hex keys, got a full set right here. Actually, hex sockets, I'm sorry, not hex keys, but we'll get to hex keys in a minute. You got the metric 3/8 drive, which goes from 6 all the way to 20 on basically on this socket tray, but there's some sockets I have that reach past like this. For example, I bought this at Craftsman 3/8 drive socket, which is 21, and also this Pittsburgh Pro goes up to 22. So it just kind of exceeded its normal limit. Of course, there are a few that I'm missing up front, including the 20, 21, 22. For SAE, for shallow, I don't have to worry about it. Everything is all right here. These two are Craftsman sockets, shallow sockets, and this is a 1/4 inch 3/8 drive, which is also shallow as well. I am missing the deep for the 1/4 and go back all the way 15 16ths and 1 inch. Also got drive adapters right here, which actually will help me to get into areas where I cannot get with a normal ratchet. And we got my half inch set right here. It goes from 3/8 all the way to 1 inch and 1/4. Basically, all here is chrome until you reach up to these two impacts. These are this one's a old Craftsman socket that I've had. There are a few in here that I used to have, which are now in here, and also there are some new in here. And can't forget about my metric, which goes from 10 all the way to 27. Now there are a few that I'm missing, like the 20, the 24, 25, 27. Notice that 26 is not in this because this is not a commonly used bolt head. If you're gonna, well, it's actually not a commonly used socket head. Socket size if you're going to be using it for nuts and bolts, like if you're going to be fixing cars or trucks, machinery, stuff like that. Now what I actually did for these sides where the holes are, that you can put screwdrivers in, I put rubber grommets in them so that way I can be able to put in socket extensions, so that way they can hang there without them having to fall through. Because I used to have them up on here and it was just, you know what, let me just make some room for them. So yes, I got all the 1/4, the smallest, medium, longest, and this is the longest out of the 1/4 inch. Also, you got 3/8 as well, and these two are also 1/2 inch. And this is also my really long breaker bar. This will help me get some of the stubborn nuts and bolts out. So you always want to have a breaker bar if you're going to be working on the cars or trucks, because it really helps get all those stuck nuts and bolts out. Over here we have my 4 commonly used picks. Got a Sharpie, a couple of pry bars, and also a right here's my tool grabber / back scratcher. It was actually advertised when I bought this at O'Reilly's. Also got a pencil and a paint marker, green paint marker. The lid actually closes real well. I can't forget about the spark plug sockets. I'm sorry about that. And yes, I'm crazy with my decals as well. So let's go ahead and take a little tour of the cart and see what it's all about. Now, I did mention that good thing about these hooks is that you can hang wrenches, you can hang tools off it, keys, stuff like that, anything. This drawer right here I just use for miscellaneous stuff. This is basically my blow mold multi-purpose driver. Got my grommet assortment kit, terminal kit for electrical stuff, and also heat shrink tubing, tape measure, a punch for drilling, which is still usable. Also got blue tubes of medium strength thread locker, box cutter, electric tape, brushes, and a tape measure. Here is my pliers, and it's just really jam packed. I got, if I take this off, which actually opens up a lot of room. We got vice grips, we got wire strippers, we got oil filter pliers, there's channel locks, assortment of needle nose pliers. I also got little precision ones right here as well, which is something I normally not need. So, needle nose pliers, these are actually Harbor Freight ones. Got linesman pliers, you got wire cutters, you got a channel lock, and these long guys are long needle nose pliers, and this is also a bent 90-degree pliers. I also keep some scissors in here, and of course my locking jaw pliers. Holds up real well. Of course, I don't have a place for it. Now these are actually metal cutters or airmen. Actually, this will actually be normally used for a airfield cutting sheet metal, which I just have these in here. Another needle nose. I also got these Doyle wire crimpers, because I don't have any crimpers in here, so I figure, you know what, might as well get a pair and throw them in here, because I might do some electrical work on my truck. Now, put those back and reattach this back on. In here we got my screwdrivers. These are all Pittsburgh. And it goes from the smallest all the way down to the Torx. I also have some picks up at the top. It's precisions. Stubbies are down here, along with the multi-purpose. Pull up a chair real quick. Third one down here. This is where I keep all my wrenches. I used to have them scattered around until I saw this wrench it to me from Harbor Freight. I thought to myself, you know what? Ooh, hiccup. I figured I'd try it out. And the good thing about these, because I was really skeptical it was not going to fit, and they actually let you test fit certain products by using their restore displays, so that way you can know, okay, so this is what I'm going to have to do, this is what, well, yeah, all that stuff. So basically I just put this in one of the store displays and it worked. And down here, this is the deepest drawer. I keep duct tape. I also keep another thing of grommets. This is the 2-in-1 pump. Also got longer pry bars that cannot fit up there. I got a few torque wrenches. This one's the 3/8 drive, and this one's the half-inch. This half-inch I bought from Advance Auto. Also got a battery tester, hoses for the 2-in-1 pump, hammers. Got a rubber mallet. It's a mess in here. Of course, this goes right back in. And down here, it's a lot deeper as well. I just basically use this for power tool storage, like the Sawzall. Those 2 wooden blocks right there I use for wood chocks. Also got a coolant funnel back there. I bought that from Home Depot. And of course, these 2 bags are filled with These are the drill and impact driver battery power kits, power tool kits, which includes the charger and the 2 small batteries. And since I got a large arsenal of the tools, I figured go for the 3/8. I actually do have 6 3-amp batteries. 2 of them are in my truck. I have an impact gun and one of those power inflator and deflators, which I bought for myself for Christmas. I also got a radio, which also has a battery on it as well. And there are 3 that are in these bags. I'm just not going to take them out. I'll save that for another time. Also got a vacuum here, a jigsaw. I believe it's back there up on top of the... Yep, that and a heat gun too. And the cool thing about this is this actually lets you customize. When you normally get the 5-door, the casters are, you get 2 swivel locking ones, which basically means you can step on to engage the brakes or turn them off. They also got these 2 fixed casters right here. This is what a fixed caster would look like. This is the one that came off of the tool cart, not this blue wheel. This blue wheel came off of the swiveling casters, which actually got the black wheels on. It's just taking a 19 wrench. You put it on the nut, and then you use a socket just to break the bolt loose. And it's just an easy, quick, simple switch out. It was hard for me until you realize you gotta find yourself a right positioning to break them loose. So, is this 5-drawer cart worth it? Yes, it is. It's worth for the money. It's worth it for everything. If you work on cars, this be it right here. Now, I've seen many different variety of uses for this tool cart. I saw somebody using it for their grill, which actually means you basically got your tongs up here, you got your seasonings down here, which I thought that was actually pretty cool. I've actually seen somebody use it as a baby changing station. And let me tell you one thing, once they grow up, you just give them the tool cart. The possibilities vary for these carts. And you can customize these in any way you want. And yes, these actually do lock. Means that once these go down, the locks are engaged. And at the end of these drawers, it has a tab where once the lid closes down, locks engaged. And basically, will prevent anybody from getting in. Of course, it's unlocked, so that means all they gotta do is open it and get in, steal what you need, and basically not a care in the world. And once these go down, and once you have a drawer that's out, the lock will not engage. That little tab at the end of the drawer will not latch onto these. That means you gotta go all the way, and once this is down, you cannot pull. I've actually learned that hard way because I've been wondering myself, what are they? Speaking of latches, this is what they are. These little tabs right here. This what engages. This engages so that way you'll be able to get in. So here we are. We open up the cart again, and you can be able to access into the cart. And once you're done, all you gotta do is close it down and lock it up. So if you actually want to look for a cart that's worth the money, want to store your tools in, or maybe you have some like some makeup. You basically, yes, I'm calling women out, and basically, if you do want something to store, like let's say a makeup, barbecue, grilling, stuff like stuff like that, or basically auto, these 5-drawer carts are worth it. There is a comparison between a 5-drawer and a 4-drawer. I don't have a 4-drawer. They are really good, I'll admit. But the 5 drawers are definitely worth the money. I originally did want a 4-drawer, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let me spend the extra money and get myself a 5-drawer. This thing's worth it, too. And of course, Harbor Freight tools, they are great for the right price. Basically, I cannot wait to, maybe one of these days I will upgrade from 5-drawer to those big bank cabinets one day. That'll come a day. So, anyway, thank you for watching this review of this 5-drawer cart. Everybody stay safe and wash your hands, and always remember to practice safe distancing. My name is Dustin, and I will see you guys later.